final countdown to Q1. Have you done everything you set goals to do in Q1? I'm Lori Graham, VP of Operations for the Home Staging and Redesign Alliance, and I've got my girls here with me today, Jill and Jennifer. So welcome, ladies. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hello. I am Jill. I am the Digital Director of HSRA. I've been on here plenty of times, but very excited for today's topic because we're talking about goals, and I love goals. Jennifer, you're up.
Oh my gosh. Well, my name is Jennifer, and I am the Staging Business Advisor for HSRA. So glad to be on with you guys again today, and so excited to talk about our Q1 goals, closing things out. I know we're not quite there yet. I mean, we're about 28 days ahead, but I mean, it's always good to be prepared, and it's great to look back over where we've come through Q1 and then get ready because we're about to hit Q2, and it will be here sooner than we think. I cannot believe it is already March the 2nd.
Well, it is never too soon to start forecasting for the next quarter. And so that's really important. And today we've been on a few different meetings. We shared in a few different ways on a few different platforms talking about, did you hit your Q1 goals yet? Surprisingly, it's been about even. Half have exceeded them. Some are normal where they, tracking about the way that they thought they would. And so luckily, none of the ones that we spoke to today are HSRA members. By the way, if you're not an HSRA member, we would love to be there for you and help grow your business. But none of them are behind. So that means they are killing it right now. And so Jennifer, you being our Staging Business Advisor, you get the pleasure of kind of straddling the fence here. Like, you get one foot in Model My Home, which is the largest staging company in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, helping coach and grow and manage that business. And then your other foot is you're the Staging Business Advisor for HSRA's members. So the members of HSRA actually get assigned a Staging Business Advisor. And so Jennifer strictly exists to help grow your business. And so our members get a hotline to Jennifer. Hello, this is Jennifer. Just joking. That doesn't happen. But they do get to speak with Jennifer and check in with her on a regular basis so that we continue to help you reach those goals in your staging and home redesign businesses. So Jennifer, let's talk about Model My Home and exceeding goals and all the amazing things that they've been able to do just in Q1 already.
Yeah, it has been incredible. So first of all, we need to talk strategy, right? We need to talk about how important strategy is. And we talked about this through December. We talked into January, like asking you, have you done your strategy yet? Do you know what your goals are? But it's interesting because I'm actually listening to a book that's Atomic Habits by James Clearney that Jill was reading. She's got it on her desk. I know she's got it. James Clear. I'm sorry. I put an NEY at the end of his name. It's James Clear. But so I've been listening to it on Audible, and his thought process on this is that goals are super important, but habits are the actual things that tell us whether or not we're going to get to where we're going. So we have within Model My Home managed to pull in about 60,000 over where we needed to be to hit 30% in growth increase over 2021 to 2022. So we're in great shape, right? But it's a lot of little things that we have put in place. And I love in this book, if you're able to read it, he talks about the 1%, the 1% steps that we take that impact the direction. We're either getting 1% better every day into the end of the year, or we're getting 1% not so much better, right? We never stay stagnant. Like, you may think that you're actually staying the same, and you may think that you are not growing or falling backwards, but you really are. So where are you at in your company? I mean, this is what HSRA exists to do, is to help you take a look, like an honest assessment of where you are right now and where you can get to where you need to be. So for Model My Home, definitely have had an amazing Q1 with our monies in the door, with our services. Being able to get back into the realm of networking and being face to face with people. We just came off of an amazing clubhouse room. It was full of people that are being the business. They're doing the business. They are in the short-term rental area. They're doing investing. They're doing rental arbitrage. We have some of our staging community that were in the room with us there, which was amazing. So they are both setting up for others and also creating another stream of revenue for themselves, right? And that can be a scary thing, but being able to be in the room with people, whether it's on these clubhouse apps or it's, in the room, networking is huge. The CE classes, all of these different things. So Model My Home had an amazing Q1. We're going into Q2. We're really going to continue to ramp on our STR. We're hosting the Model My Home office is now officially the HSRA training center as well. So hosting our very first STR master training workshop that starts we're doing the tour tomorrow and then the workshop in the office on Friday. So just a lot of really cool things happening within Model My Home and HSRA.
Jennifer, why don't you explain to people what this tour is about? I just hear tour, so that could be a tour around the office. That could be a tour around Dallas. What exactly will we be touring tomorrow?
So that is super exciting. We are going into several of the units that we actually have within our book of business in our portfolio. So we have several apartments that we're going to be touring, and then we've got 2 single family residences, one of which is an actual new build lake house that is just absolutely amazing. Like, it's so beautiful. So the people that are coming, the attendees, are going to be able to actually be in the space and see how we set these units up, actually see the type of furniture pieces that we select, and then be able to ask real-time questions like, why did you do this color scheme? Why did you pick this couch or these chairs or lay the space out this way? What was your thought process? Because we know that short-term rental is different from staging, and staging is different from design. I mean, there are variances in all of these different things. So if you want to get into a new line, a new stream of income, a new way of servicing, you want to make sure that you know what you're doing. And you wouldn't start a staging business if you didn't know how to stage. You don't want to start a short-term rental business if you don't know how to set up for short-term rental. So that is really the goal of this interactive tour. And that's why we are calling it our interactive master training workshop, because you're not just coming in for a one-day mastermind. You're coming in to actually be able to be in the space and see how they get set up. And then you're getting this ginormous workbook that is so full of all of the things that you could possibly need to know about short-term rental. Probably more information than we will be able to cover in a whole day, but that's okay, because you're going to be able to take that book home and keep working on it. So yes, incredible.
I believe it's roughly 84 pages of how-tos and what you need to know, and floor plans and design boards and all of that fun stuff. And
a little bit of everything for sure.
It was so fun to create that book and to think about how much it's going to help so many people. And I love that, we're going to have stagers in this group as well as investors. And so it's also a great networking opportunity as well. And I was just going to reiterate, these units that you guys are touring tomorrow are actually on platforms and active. In fact, we had to reserve the time so that nobody would book during these times. So you're going to be able to actually see, touch, and smell these units, and also the walkability. I think that's something I know that will be covered at this workshop, is the walkability of your property. And so even if you're thinking of investing in a property, you have to know what is the walkability score, and what's around, what's near you, what are people envisioning, what are they seeing. So yeah, I'm so excited for this event, and I know that this was one of our goals. I think it was like Q4 of last year, but now we're seeing it come into fruition through Model My Home, to really push the gas on this for them and the styling department for that, and HSRA on the training staging companies on how to do this properly, and what they actually need, and the list that they need, and how they can prepare ahead of time in case they happen to get 9 short-term rentals like Model My Home did in 1 week, right? So if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So I think that's really important. And so what are some goals that Model My Home has for Q2?
So honestly, one of the biggest goals that we have for Q2 is to create a click and pay automation. Like, everything is about automation. And whether that's within your short-term rental business, or whether it's your staging business, your design business, being able to offer people an opportunity to just go and click and order something and pay for it, and then you follow up on the backside, is huge. That gives you the ability to walk into the office in the morning and have money waiting for you when you get there. And you didn't have to spend hours on the phone negotiating those prices and all of these different things. You make it super simple and easy for people to be able to select what they want. And you create some type of a la carte menu, to where here's your basic service. If you want these other things, here's the prices for them. And you can click and click and click. And there are so many different websites out there that's how they operate. And that is the type of culture that we now have. Even more so now, since we've been through the last 2 years and the pandemic, people have gotten so used to ordering things online. They've gotten so used to being able to just click on a website, order what they want, pay for it, have it shipped and delivered to them. They really don't want to spend hours on the phone with you. They want to be able to just click on your website and get what they want. So that is a huge priority. It has been for Model My Home for 2022 overall, but we're getting close. We did a lot of work on that within Q1, figuring out pricing structures and different things. So going into Q2, it'll be a whole lot of, let's take this from thought and action, thoughts into actions, and start implementing some of these things. We have just recently brought on our first in-house realtor. His name is Daniel. He is amazing. And we're really going to be working on building our real estate team within Model My Home. So have you thought about that as a home staging company, bringing on a real estate agent onto your team so you can be a one-stop shop? You can list that person's home. You can stage that person's home. You can sell that person's home. You can go help them buy their next home. You can help them design their new home. So be a one-stop shop, have multiple streams of revenue. That should be a goal for every single person watching this video, whether it's Q2, Q3, Q4, whatever you need to do to position yourself so that you can have multiple streams of revenue coming into your business and multiple businesses pouring into your overall legacy, right? How are you leaving this for your family coming behind you? Like, what are you doing to make sure that you're taken care of and that your family's taken care of, and that you're not having to stress over whether or not the phones are just ringing for this one service? Like, we've got to break the blinders, so focused on just one train of thought. That's got to be everybody's Q2, Q3, Q4.
Right. Yeah. I think it's really important. Automation is huge right now. And even just, I can't imagine that there's still people out there that do not have a quick staging quote button on their website, but I bet you there are. I even know a few people that don't actually have an official website. They're literally just doing business through Instagram. And unless, I know you can sell goods on Instagram, but I think you need to have the website. You need to have that quick staging quote. You need to have automation in your business. It's going to help you work smarter, not harder. And then also, I think it's so important to be open to multiple streams of revenue. And I've heard people, stagers, say, you know, I'm barely succeeding in doing the staging business. Like I'm a one-stop shop, but there are definite things that you can do as a staging business. That's your only thing. Like, for instance, do you have an office or a space that you can rent out on Peerspace? That's an additional stream of revenue. Can you offer some type of classes, getting CE certified? Is that something that you can do to have an additional stream of revenue? And by the way, position yourself strategically as the expert in your area for staging and design. Have you considered that? I know because we have members that are all over the United States and into Canada, we actually get to hear a lot of what's going on in all these different states. I'm in California, you ladies are in Texas. And today we spoke to someone on the East Coast that are like, it's finally opening up and we can go to events again. So are you ready? Are you ready for Q2 to be wide open opportunities? And what are you doing right now to make sure that all of your Q2 opportunities are going to happen? You're going to set the goals and you're going to meet those goals. Who are you meeting with? Who are you talking to? And for the love, who is holding you accountable to get these goals? We have so many different accountability partners at HSRA and Model My Home. It's crazy. But we meet every morning, we meet once a week, and we make sure that all of those things that we set goals to, we are doing. And I know that one of the goals for Q1 is both HSRA and Model My Home had their biggest months ever. And typically in our industry, this is a slow season. The first 3 months are usually a slow season, but not for us. Why? Because Q4, we strategically set our Q1 goals and strategy and how we're going to do everything. So yes, so good. And I'm just so thankful that, you know, we have Jana, who is our fearless founder, and she is just going full speed all the time on learning new things and most importantly, getting outside of our staging industry and bringing back to our HSRA members the things that are happening in the real estate realm and how we can, one, provide a solution to their challenges, and two, how maybe we can adapt. FYI, hire a real estate agent in our home staging company. And so home staging is not just a hobbyist thing, not something you do on the side, or if you're desperate, you hire a home stager. We're actually changing the narrative and we're talking about this in front of these people. And she's getting on stages and having conversations with people very high up in the real estate world. And they're educating them basically. And so that's how we grow the business. We collaborate, we build, we look outside of ourselves to find something bigger and better. And so it's so exciting. Jill, you've been quiet this Wednesday. So
I've been.
drop us some knowledge. What are some ways that you've seen us hit our goals this year?
Okay. Well, first off, I want to say I like what Jennifer said. Take off the blinders. We got to quit going in that same direction of just staging. But another thing that I was thinking of is take off the negative hat that you possibly are wearing. And what I mean by that is I know I've heard a lot of staging company business owners say that they can't do something. Either it's because they don't have the inventory for it, or they don't have the time for it, or whatever it is, they can't do short-term rental because they're, like what Lori said, they're barely getting by with just doing the staging. It's like, take off that negative thought process. You know, I just got to take it off. There's something that Sharon Lechter says, which, by the way, we just sent out an email that Sharon Lechter is our first keynote speaker for Summit 2022. So very excited about that. Check out your email if you haven't already. But one thing she talks about specifically is finances, and she talked about how I think it was her son, or it was a story about somebody else, but a mom and a kid would go to the store, and the kid would say, "Hey, can I have this candy bar?" And the mom would say, "No, we can't afford that." But instead, she ended up coming back and being like, "Wait, no, that's a negative thought on money, saying I can't afford something." Coming back and saying, "How can I afford this?" So taking that same scenario, that same type of situation to if you wanted to do short-term rental, don't say, "I can't do it because I don't have the time, or I don't have the inventory, or I don't have the knowledge." Say, "How can I do this? How can I add that service?" So going into your goals, open up your mind, take off those blinders, just open it up, and think bigger than you want to, honestly. So those are my little tips.
Well, you're far more likely to hit your goals if you set stretch goals than if you don't ever set it, right?
100%.
So Jill and I always have a goal for whatever we have coming up, and then we always have a stretch goal, right? Yeah. And so if you have a goal to, I don't know, stage 40 short-term rentals in the next quarter, right? And that goal seems like, if you're like, "Oh, I'm only probably going to get 1 or 2, so let me just set it at 5. You're failing yourself, people. You will fail yourself if you're like, "Okay, well, realistically, well, I'm a realist." Well, coming from a dreamer, let me just say, just try it. Just try to dream a little bit. Try to stretch that mind, because you will happily find that you will probably meet that goal. The more you focus on it, the more it's written in front of you, the more you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe." One of our members has a goal of obtaining 40 short-term rentals this year. And I challenged her today to do 44, because we had a saying within our membership, 22 and 22, 22 whatevers and 22. So she went ahead and doubled that. I said, "Well, let's do 44. She's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "I bet you at the end of the year, you're going to have even more than that." So just expand your horizons. And if it doesn't happen, I bet you still make over your realistic goal. So even if you set 40, you thought you're going to get 5, you probably end up at about 25. So there's no hurt or harm in that. So expand your horizons. That was good, Jill.
I love it. I'm over here thinking like hashtag solutions mindset or something. I don't know.
It's really hashtag HSRA mindset.
Yes.
Right? So let's get a hashtag HSRA mindset. Bigger, better, infinite growth. We're going for it in 2022. And so we want to know what your goals are. We want to know what stretch goal. I don't want your realistic goal. I want your stretch goal. What is that big, hairy, audacious goal, your BHAG? I want to know what that is in the comments this year. And I want, when you hit it, I want to see a HSRA mindset, right? I shifted my mind. I'm changing the way I'm thinking. No more stinking thinking. I'm going for it. And if you are surrounded by people who are causing you to have stinking thinking, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to join HSRA and be part of us, because we don't allow no negativity or any stinking thinking. We're only encouraging and positive, and we are shooting for the stars. So awesome time today, ladies. This was so fun. Any last minute thoughts before we wrap up for today?
I just want to encourage people with the short-term rental, right? If you hear us in HSRA, we're talking a lot about short-term rental. It doesn't mean that staging is dead. It doesn't mean that no one's staging anymore. What's all of this about short-term rental? This is all about going where the market goes, because we are real estate industry service providers. That is what we are here to do. So we are diving in deep to the real estate industry. We're meeting the needs where they are, and we're finding where we can best add value. So maybe you don't want to have your own short-term rentals, but you still want to look into the short-term rental services, because there are more short-term rentals that need assistance than there are providers to give the assistance. Okay. there are more people looking for a short-term rental to stay in than there are properties to stay in. So definitely, you're thinking expand your horizon, expand your mindset. Just realize that there is more than one way to enter into the service of short-term rentals. There's more than one way to stage a house. There's more than one way to run your business and to find ways to service the industry. Don't get discouraged and think that things are just drying up or you can't do it, because you can do it. You can succeed in business if you just think outside the box and go where the needs are.
So good. Well, that wraps today's session of Workshop Wednesday. We're so glad that you joined us. Whether you're live with us now or you're watching this later, we want to hear from you. Please reach out to us at myhsra.com. You can chat with us there. You can look around our website, or you can contact us all at info@myhsra. We want to get to know you. We exist at HSRA to build businesses and leaders, and so we are here for you. We will see you next week. Same time, same place. Don't miss out.